What's up, everybody? Baron Von Stroud coming at you with a different type of video than you're used to seeing here on the channel. Today we are going inside Toys R Us, and no, I didn't hop on a plane and go to Canada. We are at Macy's. If you've followed the news, select Macy's stores have dedicated a portion of their inside store and square footage to become a new Toys R Us. It's not quite the same. It's definitely different than it used to be, but we're going to go in here and take a look at it, see what we're getting out of this. Hopefully it'll expand in the future and be its own retail brick and mortar again, but who knows. So we're going to go in here and take a look and see what Toys R Us has to offer. So this is the first thing you get when you walk in the store coming in from like the mall or the side entrance, is just a sign saying, hey, the Toys R Us is here and this is where it's at. After what seems like a huge long escalator ride,
a few moments later,
we finally make it to the third floor. So in what I think is a failed opportunity, Toys R Us is not right at the end of the escalator. You have to loop around and go back a whole like 180 before you get to it. But this is what you see when you first get there. A nice Toys R Us sign, cool little photo op you can do with Jeffrey at this little bench. It's not, like I said, it's not the same as it was, but this is what we have now. So right to the left, you have like the littler kids section. It's full of a lot of Disney stuff, Paw Patrol, Spidey and His Amazing Friends, which I know my nephew is a huge fan of, Blue's Clues, a lot of preschool-based toys, Melissa and Doug, role-playing, stuff like that. So I spoke to one of the Toys R Us associates who actually used to work at Toys R Us when it was a individual store, and he said right now the plan is to kind of keep it all the same and see what sells this holiday, what doesn't, and adjust the size accordingly. But the blueprint they have will basically be how it goes for, he estimated, for at least the next 6 months to a year. So if you are in one of the towns that your Macy's does get to Toys R Us, don't expect a lot of change in how big it is. It would be nice if they were to be given more space, so hopefully they do really well this holiday and they're given more space. He also told me that there is about 3 times the amount of product in the back than there is on the floor. That's for a couple reasons. They're anticipating a large number of sales, and they're also doing, if you go to ToysRUs.com and order something, the Macy's store nearest you is fulfilling that shipping. So they're keeping plenty of product in the warehouse and in the store, so the shelves don't look empty and they can fulfill those online orders. This is a cool thing it's glad to see back, is little PlayStations. You don't really see those in like Targets and Walmart, so glad to kind of see those back so kids can interact with some of these toys. So they have a big section of like learning toys and discovery stuff, so you can like, dig your own fossils, create skeletons, things like that. So it's pretty cool to see the learning toys getting featured as well. Another thing that the guy spoke about, and here you see the Halo toys, which were the only thing I ended up picking up, was the new Carter, which that review will be out soon as well. Lego was kind of annexed in the back, so it had its own section along with the board games. So that'll probably fill out. You can see empty shelves because they're kind of still setting things. But one thing the employee did mention as well is that every section of Macy's kind of has their own uniform. So they're looking at bringing that back as well. One of the things him and I had discussed was, would it be like, they used to have, Toys R Us people had like a polo. Maybe it'll be something like that. We were just talking about what it could be, so that may come as well to differentiate people working in the Toys R Us from the rest of Macy's. So that may be something you see in the future. Right now they'll just be, this guy was just in regular jeans and a long sleeve shirt, so who knows what that uniform may become in the future, just to help parents spot out who may be able to help them with their toys. Barbie, of course, had a large presence here. You can't really have a doll or girl section without having Barbie, one of the longest running toy lines out there. Lots of different products represented. Disney had facets there. You had like Legos and Play-Doh, and all the big names you expect to see in a toy location are 100% there. So that's awesome that all this stuff's there. Role play, dolls, all of that is there. Everything you'd expect, just maybe limited quantities. So we have another PlayStation, and then like a featured end cap, which is of course for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Then we move into like the action figure section, where Star Wars, Jurassic Park, a lot of like Mario, DC, all that. Didn't see any DC McFarlane, which was surprising considering how well those are selling at other places. As far as Legends and Marvel stuff though, they were pretty well stacked. All the latest waves, they still had Thor, Love and Thunder, the Controller Build-A-Figure wave, the latest X-Men wave, all these Mech Strikes characters, roleplay stuff. Lots of different variety in their Marvel section, so that was good to see the last 3 waves of Legends out there, so that was good. Jurassic World, with the movie not being out now, kind of, she feels like it's dying down and ramping it down a little bit, but good to see all this. You of course have Nerf. Can't have a toy store without Nerf stuff. X-Shot, you know, the second most popular brand as far as blasters and stuff go. So it's really cool to see all these represented. Of course, cars, all these Monster Jam, Hot Wheels, all of those, of course, represented. I didn't see any basic Hot Wheels, though. You know, your typical $1.20 little packs you would find at Walmart, Target, pretty much everywhere. Did not see any of those. Small remote controlled section along with more games over here. I don't know what specifically would differentiate going in this section rather than the other one. They also had like a small, like, kind of clearance section, which was surprising. I think this may be more Macy's clearance stuff than ToysRUs's, considering it's all new. But that'll, you know, hopefully grow in the future and find some deals. Harry Potter, of course, represented. Transformers and Power Rangers kind of mushed on to a couple little end caps here. So it's good to see the latest Wave of Lightning collection that has been released that's out. I have a video on that wave on the channel as well. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse represented here with a lot of basic figures as well as those roleplay items. Pokemon did have their own thing, so you could get some Elite Trainer boxes, individual packs, figures, a little bit of everything included there. Transformers, again, put on an end cap in their own little section with like the more collector-oriented things on the end cap, and then the more kid-friendly ones getting more of the shelf space. So that's pretty much our walkthrough. Nothing really surprising there. Like, everything I expected to see was there with the exception of like DC Multiverse. Kind of surprised that those weren't represented considering how well they're selling, especially with Black Adam just releasing and stuff like that. But Marvel Legends had a good representation, Black Series, a lot of other figures I did expect to see were there. So all in all, it's definitely cool to have back. It's certainly not the same as it used to be, but hopefully in the future sales will be good and they'll expand and we'll get maybe their own brick and mortar back again one day. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me for this walkthrough video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll definitely do more as far as like haul videos and stuff like that now that we have a new place to go and shop for some toys. But I appreciate you all watching and definitely come back and see us next time.
I wanna grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't wanna grow up,
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
they got the best for so much less.
You'll really flip your lid.
From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store